In the past, we've thrown Sung Jinwoo into battles against the strongest anime characters of all time. But today, we're taking things to a whole new level. Imagine this. What if Jinwoo didn't just defeat every powerhouse in anime, but turned them into his shadow soldiers? Yeah, let that sink in for a second. Goku, Saitama, Naruto, Gojo, all bowing before the Shadow Monarch. The question is, where would they rank in his army? Would Goku be an elite commander, or would Saitama break the system entirely? Oh man, this is going to be insanely fun. But before we get into it, let's lay down some ground rules. Number 1, every character has lost to Jinwoo. Number 2, we will be putting the extracted shadows in ranks, where S++ rank will be for transcendent beings, S+ for elite commanders, S for high-ranking soldiers, A for generals, B for mid-tier soldiers, C for knights, and D for cannon fodder. Alright, with everything set in place, there's only one way to start this. Let's spin the wheel and see who enters Jinwoo's army first. And the first one is Mob. At first glance, he might seem like just another quiet, awkward teenager, but don't let that fool you. Mob is an esper of unimaginable power. His psychic abilities are nothing short of terrifying, ranging from telekinesis and energy absorption to full-on astral projection. His strength is directly tied to his emotions. The more he feels, the stronger he gets. And when that emotional gauge hits 100%, all bets are off. We're talking about lifting entire buildings like paperweights, negating other psychics' attacks, and bending reality itself. But here's where things get really crazy. As we know, the strength of a shadow directly depends on the power of its original self. The strongest beings don't just turn into strong shadows, they come back as monsters, far beyond their living form. Some get 10 times stronger, some 100 times. And if Mob, in his peak 100% form, were to undergo that transformation, we'd be looking at something completely unhinged. A shadow mob wouldn't just be a powerful esper, he'd be an existence beyond logic, a psychic anomaly that defies reality itself, the kind of being that doesn't just move things with his mind, he rewrites the laws of power entirely. So the real question is, where do we even place him in Jinwoo's army? Well, as we know, Mob is not always in his 100% form, which can be a drawback as well. So depending on these factors, let's just put Mob in S rank as a high-ranking officer. Well, this is just the start. We're only getting started, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. So if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click it. Spinning the wheel again. And the next one we have is Deku, the once quirkless boy who defied fate and became the successor to One for All. At first, he was just another quirkless kid chasing an impossible dream, but the moment he inherited All Might's power, everything changed. One for All isn't just any quirk, it's the combined strength of every wielder before him, stacking raw power and unique abilities into a single devastating force. Deku was already a monster in his own right, but there's always been one major problem with him, and that is his own body can't handle his full power. Every time he unleashes 100%, he risks shattering his own bones, turning himself into a glass cannon. But now, that weakness doesn't exist anymore. As one of Jinwoo's shadows, Deku no longer has to worry about injuries. As long as Jinwoo is alive and his mana holds out, his shadows can regenerate infinitely. That means Deku can fight at full power every time. No broken bones, no drawbacks, just pure unrestricted destruction. So which rank should we put him in? Well, let's make him a general, which is A rank. Spinning the wheel again. And oh boy, we just hit the jackpot. Anos Voldigo, the Demon King of Tyranny, a being so absurdly overpowered that even the concept of limits seems like a joke in front of him. His magic, beyond measurement. His strength, so overwhelming that even at a fraction of his full power, he still stomps entire armies. And let's not even get started on his feats. Moving celestial bodies with his bare hands, crushing worlds with his fists, and erasing anything he pleases from existence. And then there's his magic eyes of destruction. One glance and objects, beings, and even spells are reduced to nothing. But if that wasn't broken enough, he wields Venu's Donowa, the demon sword that defies all logic. This blade doesn't just cut, it erases concepts, laws, and even reality itself. But what happens when a being this broken becomes a shadow soldier? Well, here's where things get even crazier. First off, Anos's destructive potential gets a major refinement. As a shadow, he wouldn't just be strong, he'd be infinitely regenerating, immune to death, and free from any of the mortal restrictions he had before. Remember how he reincarnated with only a fraction of his power and had to wait 2,000 years to regain his true status? Yeah, that wouldn't be an issue anymore. Jinwoo could just resurrect him instantly. Now here's where things get really terrifying. Anos already had the ability to erase things from existence, but some beings could resist it. But shadow energy? That's a completely different beast altogether. Shadow corruption doesn't just erase, it consumes. Monarchs have shown the ability to erase enemies at a fundamental level, and with Anos's power combined with shadow energy, his destruction would be absolute. No escape, no revival, just total erasure. So for him, he is easily on the level of transcendent beings, meaning he is on S++ rank. Spinning the wheel again. And the next one we have is Naruto. From an outcast to the strongest shinobi in history, Naruto's journey is nothing short of legendary. The moment he achieved full synchronization with Kurama, he unlocked Tailed Beast Mode, a massive chakra avatar in the form of the Nine Tails. With this power, he could go toe-to-toe with other tailed beasts, obliterate mountains, and even match the might of reincarnated gods. And at this stage, his power level was estimated to be around 26 trillion. But Naruto wasn't done yet. After receiving chakra from Hagoromo Otsutsuki, the legendary Sage of Six Paths, Naruto entered Six Paths Sage Mode, a form that pushed him far beyond human limitations. Now, he could manipulate all 5 chakra natures, fly, wield truth-seeking balls, and regenerate from injuries at insane speeds. With this, his power skyrocketed to 54 sextillion. But here's the real question. What happens if Naruto becomes a shadow? Well, his biggest limitation was always stamina and chakra reserve. Even at his peak, prolonged battles drained him, but as one of Jinwoo's shadows, that problem is gone. Infinite stamina, infinite regeneration, no risk of exhaustion, no need to hold back. He can fight at maximum power all the time. Now let's talk about scaling. Before losing Kurama in Boruto, Naruto was already on par with universal level entities. And as we know, shadow transformation comes with a 2 times to 5 times multiplier. That means Naruto's power could push him to multiversal levels depending on how strong Jinwoo makes him. And then there's Shadow Clone Jutsu. Yeah, you already know where this is going. One shadow enhanced Naruto is already a nightmare to deal with, but now imagine fighting hundreds, no thousands of them, each one with infinite stamina, unbreakable regeneration, and the same god tier abilities. You're not just fighting Naruto anymore, you're fighting an entire army of Narutos. At this point, calling him the Shadow Hokage might not even be a joke. So for him, let's put him as a high-ranking officer at S rank. Spinning the wheel again. And the next one we have is Okarun. Now, let's cut straight to the chase. Okarun, aka Ken Takakura from Dandadan, got his abilities after an encounter with Turbo Granny, turning him into an absolute speed demon. But despite his insane power, he has some serious weaknesses, like stamina issues, no regeneration, and he could also separate his soul from his body, but it has a time limit and is risky. But now, forget all that. As a shadow soldier, stamina problems? Gone. Wounds? Instantly healed. Soul separation? No more risks. No more time limits. He can phase in and out as much as he wants. And let's not forget the biggest part of his power, his speed. Okarun can already hit 100 kilometers an hour, making him one of the fastest in his series. But now, Shadow Transformation gives at least a 2 times or 3 times boost, meaning he's blitzing at supersonic speeds. So for him, I think D rank would be fair enough. Spinning the wheel again. And oh boy, we just hit the jackpot again. Goku. let's be real, what even needs to be said? This man has been breaking power limits since the 80s, from Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, and finally the God tier Ultra Instinct. Goku has solidified himself as the strongest warrior in anime history, and let's not forget, his Saiyan bloodline is basically a cheat code. The more he fights, the stronger he gets. Lose a battle? No problem. Come back stronger. The cycle never ends. But now, what if Goku becomes a shadow? You see, Goku's biggest weaknesses have always been stamina drain and exhaustion, especially in his higher transformations like Ultra Instinct. But as a shadow soldier, that weakness is gone. And let's not forget, shadows don't just retain their past strength, they evolve beyond it. We've seen it with Igris, Beru, and even weaker ranked shadows. Now imagine that multiplier effect applied to Goku. A 10 times to 100 times boost on top of his already broken power level? Yeah, that's just unfair. But wait, there's more. In solo leveling, mana enhances both physical and magical abilities. Now apply that to Goku's key attacks. The Kamehameha, a planet-busting blast before, now infused with Shadow Monarch mana, making it a cosmic level attack. The Spirit Bomb, now packing enough energy to obliterate galaxies. And remember, shadows are nearly impossible to kill. Unless you have a way to erase them permanently, they just keep coming back, which means even if Goku is somehow taken down, he'll just respawn stronger than before. And the rank, easiest S++ of all time. Transcendent being. No debate, no argument. Spinning the wheel again. And the next one we have is Shinra. Now, if you've watched Fire Force, you already know this guy went from kicking around criminals to rewriting the freaking laws of reality. At first, Shinra's fire-powered kicks gave him insane mobility, and under Benimaru's training, he refined his combat skills to a whole new level. Then came hysterical strength, blue flames that let him overpower even monsters like Leonard Burns, but that was just the beginning. Once he unlocked the Adola Burst, things got completely insane. By tapping into the Evangelist's grace, he achieved light speed movement. But here's the crazy part, he wasn't just moving fast. His body was literally disintegrating into subatomic particles, letting him go beyond the speed of light, reverse time, and rematerialize in the past. Yeah, my man was out here bending the rules of existence. And then we got Shinra Bunshoman, peak Shinra. At this stage, he was rewriting reality itself, surpassing how Maya and even the Evangelist. At this point, Shinra wasn't just a fighter, he was a god. But now, let's throw him into Jinwoo Shadow Army. You see, as strong as Shinra Bunshoman was, he still had limitations. His body's durability, energy drain, and reliance on the pressure of death to push himself further. But as a shadow, those limits are gone. And here's the scariest part. If Jinwoo extracts the essence of Adola itself, Shinra's abilities could evolve beyond even his peak in Fire Force. Instead of just rewriting reality, he could become something far greater. So for rank, let's make him a general as well, which is A rank. Spinning the wheel again. And next up, we have Gon Freaks. Now, Hunter x Hunter fans already know Gon is a monster. Even as a kid, his raw strength, speed, and instincts were next level. But what really makes him dangerous is net. As an enhancement type user, Gon can boost his physical abilities to insane levels. His Janjan can attack straight up devastating. But then came the craziest moment in the series, his adult form. Driven by pure rage and determination, Gon made a Nen contract that sacrificed his entire future potential for a temporary top-tier transformation. But of course, there was a catch. Afterward, Gon was completely broken, unable to use Nen, nearly dead, and stripped of his potential. But now, as a shadow, Gon's energy pool is infinite. He could spam Jajanken at full power all day long. And when it comes to adult Gon, that insane sacrifice he made to achieve his peak form, gone. As a shadow, he wouldn't have to trade his future. He'd stay in his strongest form indefinitely. So for him, B rank is fair enough, which is for most mid-tier soldiers. Spinning the wheel again. And this time, we've got Natsu Dragneel. Fairy Tail fans already know, when Natsu steps into battle, things heat up fast. As a fire dragon slayer, he doesn't just control fire, he eats it, powers up from it, and turns it into some of the most devastating attacks in the series. But what happens when Natsu becomes a shadow? Firstly, no more motion sickness, as shadows don't have human biological limits, meaning he could ride any vehicle without feeling like he's about to die. So yeah, Shadow Natsu on a train, that's finally a thing. Secondly, infinite magic reserves. Before, Natsu had to consume fire to refuel, but as a shadow, his energy pool is bottomless. He could spam Fire Dragon's Roar and Dragon King mode endlessly without worrying about exhaustion. So let's just put him in B rank as well. Spinning the wheel again. And the next one we have is Tanjiro. From a kind-hearted boy to one of the most fearsome demon slayers, mastering both water breathing and sun breathing, he reached a new level where his attacks were able to push upper-rank demons to their limits. So what happens if Tanjiro becomes one of Jinwoo's shadows? Well, first, he gains infinite stamina and regeneration, just like everyone in this list. His bright red Nichiren sword, it's permanently active. Sounds insane, right? Well, not exactly. See, here's the thing. Compared to the other monsters on this list, Tanjiro is still just a human by core. And when you're up against guys who can erase concepts, destroy galaxies, or bend reality itself, just having a sword and fast reflexes isn't enough. So where does that leave him? Well, just because he has a sword, let's be generous and give him C rank Knight. Spinning the wheel again. And the next one we have is Sid. Sid Kageno from the Eminence in Shadow is a powerhouse with elite martial arts, potent magic, and devastating abilities. His I Am Atomic attack rivals a nuclear explosion, while his slime suit enhances offense and defense. He is classified as town to island level in power, making him insanely strong. Now when it comes to becoming a shadow, well, not much to say here. If normal Sid was island level, as a shadow, he would likely surpass continent level due to his endless stamina, regeneration, and enhanced magic. With Jinwoo's buffs, Sid's I Am Atomic could become multi-island level or even small continent level due to its scalability. So for him, A rank General. Spinning the wheel again. And the next one we have is Asta. Alright, we've had psychics, demon kings, shinobi, and even demon slayers. But what happens when you throw anti-magic into the mix? Asta's growth in Black Clover has been absolutely wild. From struggling to control his anti-magic to mastering Devil Union and Zeton, this guy went from an underdog to one of the strongest warriors in his world. With Devil Union, Asta fuses with Libe, maximizing his anti-magic powers and skyrocketing his strength, speed, and durability. At first, this form only lasted 5 minutes, but with training, he pushed it to 10. And then there's Zeton, a technique from the land of the sun that lets him focus his anti-magic into a single devastating strike. We've already seen how broken this is, considering he one-shot both Sister Lily and Damnatio. Now, what happens if Asta becomes one of Jinwoo's shadows? First off, the Devil Union time limit, gone. Shadows don't have time constraints, meaning Asta would stay in Devil Union permanently. But the thing I am interested in is his anti-magic, which could potentially fuse with Jinwoo's shadow energy. Think about it. What if Jinwoo gained an anti-magic shadow mode, making his entire army immune to magic? Yeah, that would be completely broken. So again, A rank General. Spinning the wheel again. And the next one we have is Eren. Alright, let's not waste time here. Eren is strong, no doubt. His Titan abilities make him a formidable force. But let's be real, how does he stack up as a shadow? Yeah, Eren will get stronger as a shadow. Insane stamina, regeneration, and durability, making him a relentless fighter. But compared to Jinwoo's top shadows like Beru or Igris, he's still lacking. His Titan powers are great, but they don't scale infinitely. Strong? Yes. Unstoppable? Not really. Just another powerful pawn. So for him, I think D rank would be fair enough. Spinning the wheel again. And this time, we've got Saitama. At this point, do I even need to say anything? Saitama is the definition of broken. The guy is so strong that his entire existence is a parody of power scaling. One punch, that's all it takes. Every villain, every threat, gone. His speed, faster than hypersonic opponents. His durability, planet-destroying attacks barely scratch him. His reflexes, so advanced that even targeting systems struggle to track him. And if that wasn't enough, he learns techniques just by watching them. This even includes time travel. Yeah, you heard that right. Saitama casually figured out how to punch through time itself. Now, what happens if he becomes Jinwoo Shadow? Well, let's be real. Nothing changes. He was already unstoppable before. Now he's just unstoppable and immortal. Honestly, the biggest issue Saitama has is that he's too strong, making all his fights boring. But as Jinwoo Shadow, he finally gets a purpose. And that's it. There's literally nothing else to say. S++ rank for him as well. No debate, no argument. Well, if you are enjoying this video so far, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's keep going. Spinning the wheel again. And oh boy, we just hit another broken one. Rimuru. Rimuru Tempest starts as a simple slime, but quickly evolves into one of the strongest beings in his universe. His intrinsic skills, like Absorb and Dissolve, let him consume and analyze anything, while self-regeneration ensures rapid healing. After becoming a demon slime, he gains infinite regeneration, shape-shifting, and spatial motion for teleportation. His ultimate skills, Raphael, Super Intelligence, Beelzebub, Ability Consumption, and Uriel, Absolute Defense, make him nearly untouchable, giving him mastery over magic, space, and matter. With each evolution, he inches closer to godhood. If Rimuru became Sung Jinwoo Shadow, he'd get endless mana and energy, letting him spam his ultimate skills non-stop. Not that he needed the buff, but now he'd be completely unstoppable, which makes him the fourth character to be on the S++ rank. Spinning the wheel again. And this time, we've got Luffy. Luffy, the protagonist of One Piece, grew immensely in strength, mastering his Gum Fruit powers and Haki. His gears enhance speed, power, and versatility, culminating in Gear 5th, where he embodies Sun God Nika. With all three Haki types, he became a Yonko, solidifying his legendary status. Okay, now let's see what happens if he becomes a Shadow. First off, Luffy's biggest weakness has always been the stamina drain from Gear 5th, but as a Shadow, that problem is erased. No exhaustion, no drawback. He could stay in peak form forever. His rubber body has limits, like being vulnerable to sharp attacks, but that's not an issue anymore since shadows regenerate instantly. And the biggest one, seawater. As a devil fruit user, he can't swim, but Jinwoo shadows are undead, meaning Luffy could fight in the ocean like it's nothing. Now imagine an immortal Luffy, spamming Gear 5th without a care in the world, bending reality with his imagination, throwing around lightning, and casually laughing through it all. So for him, A rank general. Spinning the wheel again. And the next one we have is Ichigo. Ichigo Kurosaki, the ultimate hybrid warrior of the Bleach universe, wields the combined might of Shinigami, Hollow, and Quincy powers. His Zanpakuto Zangetsu grants him Getsuga Tensho, a devastating energy blast, while his Bankai, Tensa Zangetsu, amplifies his speed and power to overwhelming levels. Holification further boosts his endurance and energy output, allowing him to fire Cero Blast, while his Quincy bloodline grants him Blood Vene, fortifying his defense against lethal attacks. But despite all that power, Ichigo's biggest struggle was always control. His conflicting hybrid nature caused inconsistency, forcing him to battle his own identity before fully mastering his abilities. Now, if he were to become one of Jinwoo's shadows, that instability would be erased entirely. His powers would be fully harmonized, refined to their peak potential without any inner conflicts holding him back. He would likely become one of Jinwoo's strongest shadows, possibly rivaling or surpassing Velian. His combination of Shinigami, Hollow, and Quincy traits enhanced by the Shadow Monarch's power would make him an absolute monster. Even beings like Yhwach or Aizen wouldn't stand a chance against this version of Ichigo. So let's put him in S+ rank as an elite commander. Spinning the wheel again. And the next one we have is Kafka. Kafka Hibino from Kaiju number 8 is already a powerhouse thanks to his humanoid kaiju transformation. His raw physical strength is insane. He can obliterate other kaiju with a single punch, making him a walking disaster in battle. On top of that, his durability is no joke either. Even against devastating attacks, he just keeps pushing forward, barely taking any damage. Speed? Reflexes? Yeah, he's got those too, dodging high-speed attacks like they're in slow motion. And let's not forget his energy manipulation, which further enhances his strikes, along with impressive regeneration that lets him regrow lost limbs mid-fight. Now, what happens if he becomes Jinwoo Shadow? Well, not much actually. Kafka already has crazy durability and regeneration, so the main upgrade would be his infinite stamina and even better healing. His strength and speed would also get a solid boost, making him an even greater threat in battle. But compared to some of the absurdly broken characters on this list, he's not exactly breaking the universe. He's still a beast, just not an unstoppable force like some of the higher tier shadows. So for him, B rank is good enough. Spinning the wheel again. And the next one we have is Gojo. Satoru Gojo, the man, the myth, the walking flex of Jujutsu Kaisen. This guy is the strongest sorcerer of his era, thanks to his broken combo of Six Eyes and Limitless. The Six Eyes give him god-tier perception and near infinite cursed energy efficiency, meaning he can spam techniques without worrying about running out. Limitless, on the other hand, lets him control space itself, making him untouchable with infinity, manipulating attraction and repulsion with blue and red, and erasing everything in his path with purple. And then there's Unlimited Void, his domain expansion that overloads opponents with infinite information, rendering them useless. Now, what if Gojo became one of Jinwoo's shadows? First of all, he's immortal now. No more tragic losses, no more fandom heartbreak. Gojo stays in the fight forever. But the biggest game changer, his domain expansion. In JJK, when two domains clash, the stronger one wins. If Gojo ever faced someone with a more powerful domain, he could lose. But as a shadow, his Unlimited Void would evolve, making it nearly impossible to overpower. Imagine an infinite, unbreakable, eternally active Unlimited Void. Yeah, that's GG for anyone facing him. Oh man, Jinwoo's army just got a whole lot scarier. So for him, S+ rank for sure. And finally, the last character of today's video, Dio. Dio Brando, the ultimate menace of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This guy isn't just strong, he's a walking nightmare. As a vampire, he's already got superhuman strength, speed, and regeneration, making him nearly impossible to kill. And then there's the World, his stand that lets him stop time, turning any fight into a one-sided slaughter. Now, what if Dio became Jinwoo Shadow? First off, Dio's biggest weakness, sunlight, is completely erased. No more hiding in the dark. He could fight day or night, anywhere, anytime. His second limitation, needing blood to heal and sustain himself, is also gone. As a shadow, he gets infinite energy, meaning he can fight at full power without ever weakening. And the real game changer, time stop. In JoJo, Dio could only freeze time for 5 to 9 seconds before reaching his limit. But as a shadow, he could stop time indefinitely, spamming it however and whenever he wants without tiring. So for Dio, B rank is good enough. Click on this video next, where we have ranked every monster from weakest to strongest in solo leveling. Go on, check it out.